All right, I'm doing this video from my car. I literally just got out of the gym. I rushed and got my groceries, and I was like, pull over with your latte and let's do a little bit of a chit chat. I'm not diagnosing you. I'm simply sharing my story. I'm from a way to help you feel empowered so that you don't have to stay where you are, especially if you don't want to. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am going to start opening up a little bit more about some of my disordered eating patterns, notably binge eating. And so if you didn't check out the last video where I really shared about what I learned about the last time I binged, which was an epiphany to me. And just so everybody knows, like, the journey to heal, it took time. And today what I want to talk about is, why did I binge? Because I had thoughts of binging. Now let's take this a little bit deeper. I already was labeling food as good and bad. So I was already in the mindset of a salad is good, chocolate is bad. If I eat a salad, I'm good. If I eat a chocolate, I'm bad. If I'm not good and I've already been bad, I'll just continue being bad. So I was already in that mindset of labeling food with moral labels. I was already based on that, those behaviors and categorizing the food like this. Then I started limiting when I would have certain foods. And again, I'm going to preface this with, this is my experience, okay? So I'm not here to diagnose you. I'm going to share what I learned about myself and what worked with me. And so I binged because I labeled food as good and bad. I binged because I deprived myself of food. So AKA, I was constantly dieting. I was constantly on a diet. I was constantly in a caloric deficit. I was constantly checking the calories I ate versus the calories that I would burn out working out. Please stop doing that, by the way. I was constantly calories in versus calories out and trying to eat as less as possible, when I actually was in the midst of my healing journey. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go and understand nutrition. And I studied precision nutrition. I understood the impacts that I was doing to my body. So the impacts of depriving, right? Not getting enough nutrients, not getting enough micronutrients, not getting enough macronutrients. I was depriving. I was eating probably, and like a lot of women, and I'm speaking to you because 95% of women diet. And sadly, you will diet because you watched your mother diet, you watched your grandmother diet, you just watch. It's like, it's conditioned in our society to shrink, because the size you are equals, this beauty objectification and how we rank in society. I get it. And we tend to eat so below what our body needs to on a daily basis. So we're eating less than our basal metabolic rate. Our basal metabolic rate, or BMR, really is what your body needs in order to keep your organs functioning, to keep, like your lungs breathing, your heart beating, keeping your body warm, like all of the functions that your organs are doing. This is your basal metabolic rate in a simplified term. Let's just simplify things for those who are gonna come at me after. Most women are eating well below that. Most women have been conditioned that they have to eat 1,000 calories a day or 1,200 calories a day, when in fact there's a special calculation that needs to be done in order to determine what your real basal metabolic rate is. And what I came to discover for myself, and when I worked with clients and I was helping them change the narrative that they had around food, like their food story, their body story, all of it. And when I was doing my program, Breaking the Binge, I was really just breaking it down for them to understand that their body is smarter than them. Our bodies are smarter than us. Our body will do what it needs to stay alive. And so if you are quote unquote good right? Listen to the dieting language. Listen to the language that gets you stuck. If you're quote unquote good all week, there is such a thing called decision fatigue. We are making decisions all day long that come the end of our day, the end of our week, something happens in your life and you're like, can no longer, I don't know, like another extra stressor that you weren't accounting for, right? And it's like another decision. We're tapped out. And so what do? We cope. How are we coping? We're going right to the food. So I can tell you right now, the main reason I binged is because I had thoughts of binging that were happening due to the moral labels, that were happening due to the restriction of calories, that were happening due to the restriction of pleasure foods. Like you're allowed, you listening? You're allowed to enjoy something that you enjoy eating. And guess what? It's not the end of the world. I actually, when I was able to, I did an intensive healing around the body story, the food story, all around that. I studied precision nutrition. I had worked with that coach, and I came out on the other side. I actually started like training more progressive overload, and I would purposefully eat a Snickers bar a day. I would fit it in my macros. And I was doing it as a way to like recondition myself that a chocolate bar does not mean that I'm bad, and a chocolate bar does not ruin anything, right? Like it's not the end of the world. But see, where I was with my binges is I couldn't have a banana, let's say, or I couldn't have like this extra, whatever the heck it was. And I would automatically just want to eat everything in sight, right? You know, like that's how they started. I would be like, oh, I can't have a banana, so I'm going to eat like, 6 rice cakes with excessive peanut butter and then put some jam on there and then some honey, and I would have been better off just enjoying the banana, right? And obviously I learned as well to pair my macronutrients together, but that'll be for another video. So you're never just eating your carbs naked, for example, and you're never just like, you keep them together so that it's more complete, so that you feel full, you feel satiated. But basically this point of this video is the main reason that I binged: moral labels, the thoughts that I had around food, the thoughts I had around my body, the working for and earning it. Those are the main reasons, but it was triggers based on the depriving, you deprive, and then there's going to come a time where it's not going to work anymore. You binge, then you deprive, and then you binge. And so I am going to speak more and more about this. Let me know in the comments if this is helping you. Again, you don't have to suffer. You are not alone. You could do the work to seek the professional help, obviously, and do the inner work, because no professionals can do the inner work for you. I'm just going to say that. Start catching the thoughts you're having. Start paying attention to how you view yourself, how you view your food choices. Start there. If you're somebody who is an all or nothing mindset like I was, yeah, I see you. So if you would like me to share more on that, let me know in the comments. And if you find that this was helpful and you feel like somebody else would need to hear this video, please share it out. And if you're subscribed and you hit the notification bell, you'll know when I drop other content like this. And so check out the next video where I'm going to share what to do if you ever find yourself in the midst of a binge. I also have another video coming where I'm going to tell the difference between a binge and overeating, because there is a difference. We need to pay attention to this. That's that. As always, be brave, be bold, be you. So many things that I want to say. This is how we're going to roll with it, because this is just how we're going to roll with it.